post-game conference featuring the Sweet 16-bound Utah Utes. We will begin with an opening statement from head coach Lynn Roberts, followed by questions for student-athletes Alyssa Peely and Kennedy McQueen. Once players are dismissed, questions for Coach Roberts will follow. Reminder to those joining us in person and on Zoom to state your organization before asking your question. Those joining us on Zoom can use the raised hand function to ask a question as well. So go ahead, Coach Roberts.
Thank you all for being here and being here all season. It's kind of crazy. This is our last game at home. 15-0 at home, and that's a large part to you all covering our sport and covering our team and getting the crowds here, and it matters. And I really appreciate it. I want to congratulate Princeton. I'm very impressed with them. That was hard. They are tough, and you can see why they're such a good program. It's not just a good team this year. They're just a great program, well coached, disciplined, physical, fearless. We just couldn't pull away. But, man, I'm proud of our team. And we set out to do this a year ago. We lost in this game at University of Texas, and the goal was to be able to host so that we could have that home court advantage, and it made a difference. They were loud today, and it really does make an impact. But what a great time to be at the University of Utah. Look at how well the sports teams are doing across the board. I'm just so honored to be a part of it. But football, back-to-back, Pac-12 champions. Gymnastics just won the Pac-12 championship. Skiing won the national championship 4 times in a row. And that's a credit. I'm lucky to work here, and the administration that we have from President Randall, Mark Harlan, Charmel Green, the way you all support our programs is why we're all having this success, and the staffs, and I'm just so humbled and honored to be a Ute, and so incredibly proud of our team and what we've done this year, and we're not done. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Still a little damp from the water dousing I got, but I'll take it.
All right, questions for the student athletes?
Alex Fahar, Salt Lake Tribune. There we go. Kennedy, I'm curious, even you guys only made 1 of 15 3-pointers. It's the lowest of the season. Pretty uncharacteristic of you guys. I'm wondering how much of that was maybe just like some missed opportunities versus what Princeton does on defense, which they also have a good 3-point shooting defense.
Yeah, they're a great defensive team, and we knew that going in. I think they scouted really well, knew who we all can shoot the ball, and they tried everything they could to make the shots more difficult or just taking it away. But, yeah, I think it was also a combination of that and an off night. But, yeah, Princeton's an amazing defensive team, and we knew that going into the game.
And, Alyssa, you led the team in scoring today. You and Jenna were kind of like the dynamic duo inside. I'm curious how you kind of adjusted to Princeton doubling you, like basically on the catch throughout the game.
I just trust my teammates, and, if they're keying in on me, I trust that I could kick it out to them and they'll make the right play and the right read. Coming into these games, coaches told me they're going to key in, and so just let the game come to you. And I think that's what I've been doing these past couple games, just kicking out to my teammates and seeing what's open, and it opens up for everybody else and for me as well as the game goes on. So.
Matthew Coles, Associated Press. Alyssa, you ended up on the ground quite a few times, and they were swarming you. And at the end, it looked like you had a little bit of a stare down with one of their players. How difficult was it with the physicality that they were trying to bring to you?
It was expected, so I think just the main thing I tried to do was just keep my cool, and if calls weren't going my way or just things like that, I just stayed composed and just kept my head down and kept working.
John Kuhn, Associated Press. Just looking at the turnovers tonight, you guys uncharacteristically had 20 turnovers. What did you do to try and adjust to that defensive pressure Princeton was just bringing at you, especially in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think once again we knew Princeton was a great defensive team and they were going to cause some of those, but some of them were just uncharacteristic sometimes and just some in our control that talking at halftime we wanted to make an adjustment to do that and focus on that. So I think as the game went on, we definitely cleaned it up and got better. But, yeah, credit to Princeton. They're a great defensive team, and you can tell that's a focus for them. So, yeah, they made every possession hard for us.
Next question will go to Jen Hatfield on Zoom.
Jen Hatfield with the next. For either or both of you, Coach was saying in her opening statement how hard of a game that was. What did it feel like for you physically, mentally down the stretch while you were trying to put Princeton away?
I think we've been in a lot of positions like that, close games towards the end. And, those games, we've won a lot of those games. And I think we just stay composed and stay together, just stay tough throughout it all. So we usually end up on the winning end.
Yeah, just to add to that, exactly what she said, and then I think the crowd just, as soon as you think you're getting tired and then you hear the crowd roar, it gives you a huge boost of momentum. So credit to our sixth men as well. They did a great job tonight.
Josh Furlong, KSL.com. For both of you, just what does it mean now to be able to be in that Sweet 16 round and being able to have that opportunity?
It means everything. It's a lot of work, hard work paid off, I think. But like Coach said, we're not done yet, and I think we could make a run even deeper in the tournament. So, yeah, it means a lot just knowing that our hard work throughout the season is just paying off, and we're being recognized as one of the best teams in the country now that we've made it this far. And, yeah, we just got to keep proving.
Yeah, exactly what she said, and I think all of us came and committed to Utah with that goal in mind, starting in the summer in that circle in our gym. Everyone knows that story, so just to see that goal pay off, we'll celebrate tonight, and we'll be ready to get back to work tomorrow.
Jay Drew, Deseret News. Kennedy, have you ever had 3 points taken away from your scoring column? And I guess my question is, what effect emotionally did that have on you guys when you came out and found out that you were not ahead by 9 but by 6?
Yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened to me before. Not that I can remember, but I don't think we were fazed by it. Coach Rob came in and told us at halftime that the 3 got taken away and no plans changed. That 3 points didn't make or break the game. We were all right, but yeah, just stayed steady and came out and fired up the same way we would have started if the 3 did count.
Kevin Reynolds, Salt Lake Tribune. This is for Kennedy. I'm just curious if you've talked to your mom at all in the lead up to this about what it means for Utah to be in the Sweet 16 and for you to be the one to kind of bring this program to it and to be a part of it. And if not, just what are the emotions right now for you being from Utah?
Yeah, I definitely had conversations leading up to her about this and just where the program was and where it is now and just how exciting of a time that is and for me to be a part of it. She's a diehard Utah fan, a huge Utah fan, so it's nothing but happiness, 1, for me, and then 2, just Utah as a whole. It's super cool to see the change, and she acknowledges that. And, yeah, emotions right now, just being from Utah and being able to – this was my dream as a kid, and to see it starting to come true is awesome.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Go ahead with questions for Coach Roberts.
Josh Furlong, KSL.com. Lynn, you guys built up a 13-point lead in that. You got at the beginning of the second quarter. What changed in your perspective that allowed Princeton maybe to kind of cut the lead, and kind of what changed from your side?
Well, excuse me. I think, you have to give them credit. They're a good team, and they're tough as nails, and they're not going to – I said it in every timeout. They're not going to go away. They're not going to quit. So I think, you have to give them credit in that equation. And then I just thought we got a little sloppy. The turnovers, I about lost my mind. I don't know how many were just not smart decisions. But again, it's easy from the sidelines to say don't do that. It's hard in there. And again, they hang their hat on their defense, and they made everything hard. So in that second quarter, I think they just kind of started maybe playing. They might have been a little tight to start, or we kind of threw the first punch, and they bounced back. That's what great teams do.
Next question will go to Jen Hatfield with the next on Zoom.
Hi, Coach. Just building on that and your opening statement, what was going through your head when they cut it to 2 points? I think they did that a couple times. And what just made it most challenging to finally put them away?
I don't think, this group has been my team has been so consistent. I don't have like a fear. I didn't get tight. It wasn't like this oh no situation. It was more, just controlling what we can control. And I honestly never thought I had a fear of like, oh my gosh, are we not going to win this? I had that confidence the whole time. And, I think, again, I'm repeating myself, but Princeton's tough. They don't go away. And they showed that against NC State. They were down 8 with 2 minutes to go and came back and won. I think you have to tip your hat to them.
Matthew Coles, Associated Press. When the game gets tight, how important is it to keep it light? And then second question is, have you been working on the gritty?
I need to. I did not want to do the gritty there, but I felt 8,000 eyes looking at me. I needed to do it. I'm better than that.
Okay. We'll see that later.
Yes. Yeah. Well, maybe we win again. I'll pull out a legit one. I think that's our team. That's our program in terms of keeping it light. We get to coach and play basketball for a living, and I think everybody does better when they don't feel pressure. Nobody responds well when it's that fear. And so I think I can set the tone with that and keeping things light. And I think our group does a good job of knowing when to laugh and when not to. And like when Gianna fouled on that 3. They were given a hard time in the huddle, and everyone ended up kind of just laughing. I don't know that I was laughing, but they were. But that's who they are, and and I think it does help us down the stretch. Excuse me.
Do you have a question? John Kuhn, Associated Press. We've talked about a lot this season about your team's offense and how potent you are, but defensively in the fourth quarter, you guys were able to hold Princeton to just 3 baskets.
Yeah.
How much does that underscore just kind of the defensive evolution that you guys have had this season and being able to, survive a rock fight like this?
Yeah, it was a rock fight. That's a good way to describe it. I think that, that was the thing that we talked about in the offseason, and is we know we can score, but you can't rely on that always, right? And for us, we went 1 for 15 from 3. We shot 39% from the field. That's, a lot below. We shot 6% from the three-point line. That's 30% lower than our average. So that's why we've been focusing on the defense so much, and they've gotten better. It's nice to know we can get stops when we absolutely have to, and we had to in the fourth. And, they kind of crushed us on the boards in that third quarter, on the O boards. That was embarrassing at times. But in the fourth quarter, we pulled them down when we needed to.
Alex Vehar, Salt Lake Tribune. As formidable as Princeton is, I'm curious, to what extent do you think that maybe this game was not Utah basketball?
I don't think it was not Utah basketball. We tried to share it. There wasn't a lot of selfishness. We just, made some uncharacteristic turnovers and then just didn't shoot well. And sometimes it is a rock fight. Sometimes that does happen. But it's nice to still win. Right? That's the sign of a great team. So I think we still played the way we want to play.
Hey, Coach.
Hi.
Isabel Rodriguez with the Daily Princetonian. I'm just curious, for you seeing this kind of crowd here and seeing crowds all over the country, do you think that neutral courts are in the cards for the women's tournament going forward?
No one asks me. I don't know. I think it's great for our sport. It builds momentum. It certainly is a home court advantage. But it's, your season of work earns you the right to do it. And so we earn the right to do it. I don't make up how it works, so we'll take it. It was an advantage today.
Hi, Coach. Lisa Antonucci on her turf. It seems like the last 3 seasons, there's been some real pivotal moments, some crossroads moments. The 5-16 season, the loss in the second round last year. Is there one of those, or is there something this year that was really, you think, changed the trajectory the most, and or was there a moment when you felt like we're on our way?
This season? Oh, that's a hard question. I think I've shared, I think we've had a couple big wins this season that were close. The win against Ole Miss early in the season, we were down with a minute to go, we win. I had a moment of okay, we took a punch in the face and responded. We win a close one to Arizona here, UCLA here. We beat Stanford here. All those were, down to the last minute. I think it's just the culmination of those games. I think elite, great teams win those games, and we've found a way to do it. So I don't know if there was one kind of shining moment, but just the culmination of winning those hard games that maybe in the past we weren't able to get over the hump there.
And then final question in the back here.
Excuse me.
Lennar Davis, KUTV. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Going into this game, what was the overall message to the team? And as the game started to become a bit of a roller coaster, how did you make those adjustments? What was that conversation like in between those timeouts as things start to become a little rattled for you guys?
Well, I think, what I told the team is that this is the game we've been wanting to play and win, right? We played in it last year, but the process of how we got here, the process of how we compete doesn't change. How we prepare, how we eat, how we do shoot around, nothing changes. So don't change how you approach it. It's got to be the same. I didn't need to hype them up, right? They know what I felt like I needed to do is just make sure that they don't approach it any differently mentally. And same thing when the game was tight. And I just kept saying we knew this was going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Don't freak out. And don't play. I said this many times too. Don't play not to lose. Play to win. That's a 180 difference from each other. Don't play not to lose. Play to win. Because when you play to win, you don't play with fear. You don't play tight. You don't second guess yourself. When you play with fear, you do those things. So just repeating those messages over and over.
All right, that was your last question.
All right, thank you all. Go Utes.